Hey everyone, so I'll be right back. I'm going to get a few things for this Coffee with Your Coach. So just stay tuned. When you come on, give me some hearts or likes so that I know you're here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm trying to find a recipe I wanted to share. I already did with you guys, but okay, I don't know where it is. Just a sec. Okay. This is kind of fun. Okay, so coffee with your coach. I'm just getting home from the bus. I have the day off. Mondays are my new day off at the gym. So I did my workout this morning at, hi Brittany, at 5 a.m. here. I did Turbo Fire, and I haven't done that program at home forever. And it started my day right because it was fun, and then I went and did my bus route. So I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm happy there was a couple, and they're going to take a while to explain. But I wanted to show you first that I made the dump ranch, and it is so good. I'm not just exaggerating. Sometimes things don't taste that great. That is probably the best ranch I have ever had, and it's good for you, but it is still high calorie. So it's funny, it's high calorie, so you still need to be careful. So like measure it out, maybe 2 tablespoons per salad, or depending on how big your salad is. But here is the recipe, and if you could screenshot it, I think you could screenshot it if you're on your phone. It might be backwards though, but I'll post it below this. And this is the best ranch. And I was told to blend it with an immersion blender, which is like one of those handheld blenders. But I think I've heard a couple people made it with a normal blender, and it turned out just as good. It's runny, but it's really good. I use it on all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to answer the questions you guys had. If you have any questions, please just post them below. And it helps boost my video if you give me likes and hearts, or even angry faces, but I don't really want an angry face. So if you can give me a heart every once in a while or something, then that means more people will see it, and it just helps me. So we're going to start with Pam asked, workout schedule. Should she do arms one day, legs one day, cardio one day, and how many rest days, and all that. So this depends on every individual and what your goals are. Like mine, I do whole body workouts, and because I don't have 2 hours to spend in a gym every day, I do spend a lot of time there, but I don't have 2 hours to devote to my workout every day. That is when you would do an arm day, a leg day, maybe just biceps and tricep day, or maybe chest day, back day, and that's great to do if you have time. If you don't have time, you should be doing a full body workout. How I design my workouts at the gym is we usually do a leg work, like a leg move, like squats, then a arm move, so say push-ups, and then a core move, so maybe just sit-ups, basic. Then we do that 3 sets, so you do it 3 times. You want to have the reps between 8 and 15, depending on your goals again, and how heavy you are, and like the weights, and if it's you want more cardio, if you really want to focus on building that muscle. There's a lot to it. So I'd say for probably 80% of people in the world, or that 80% of moms, like just normal everyday people, um, you should be doing like a full body workout almost every day, and you'll probably hit one area harder. So say your legs the next day hurt so bad that you can't sit to pee, then the next day focus, maybe just do a few little leg things just to get the blood flowing and get the lactic acid out. But then maybe do more arms that day. That way you would let those muscles rest and recover, because that's when they grow and build, is when they're resting. So and recovering, you gotta break them down. That's when they're sore. You break them down, you hurt them, and then they build back up, and those proteins all come together and build a bigger, better, healthier muscle. So you want to let it rest and recover, or you're just not doing much good. But the other thing is, in all reality, you only need 1 or 2 rest days a week. Most people, unless you're totally killing it, like 2 hours a day, and even then I don't recommend it. You should be being consistent, an hour, half hour to an hour every day. 6 days a week would be the goal. 5 days a week is awesome. So if you really want to see the benefits, 3 days a week, awesome too. If that's what you can do and that's all you can fit in, do it. But 5 to 6 days is better. Give yourself 1 day a week, nothing, no working out. Maybe go for a walk, or something. But let those muscles recover and repair, and your mind, let yourself have that day of break. So there's also whether you should do cardio or weights. That is also up to you. It's do your weights first, unless you're mixing the two. So like in my workouts, a lot of times we do some weights and cardio, and it's all mixed in. That's fine. But if you are just going to go like just do some bicep curls and do the machines at the gym or something, do those first, because you need that energy, the food you ate. You want that to go to your muscles, because your muscles, if you want them to grow, that's the whole point in lifting weights or using the machines, is you want to see that muscle. So your food that you ate that morning, this is why you need to think food as fuel, because that food will go to your muscle and support the muscle, give it energy to get like the blood flow there so that it can work, and gives you the benefit of lifting weights. If your whole goal is weight loss and to burn fat, and I still think you should lift some weights, because the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, and the more calories you burn throughout the whole day. But if your only goal is fat loss and you don't want to have the nice little bicep, then cardio, a ton of cardio. It might make your muscles flat though, so you won't have the nice little bicep if all you do is cardio, unless you really lose the body fat. And some people, it's just really hard, especially women. We like to hold on to body fat. So I like to do a combination of it all, and it just depends on your goals. I hope that answered it, Pam. I know that was kind of like, there's a lot to it. If you're still confused, let me know, because I want to know if that made sense at all. The next question was from Victoria, and it was your inspiration in meal planning. So I have to say, this is my hardest thing for me, is nutrition and meal planning and staying consistent with it. I think it is for most people. I got the working out part down. I used to not. I used to be horrible at it all. So I'm happy I got one of them down. But I've listened to a lot of things from like fit people, and it's so interesting to me to like just listen to what fitness people have to say, like true fit athletic people say about nutrition. So you need a couple tips. You need to think of it as fuel, not food. So it's not like I get to sit down, this is going to taste so good. And we should do that, like as a happy thing, probably once or so a week. Pick that one meal that's just your favorite, and keep the portion in check and eat it, and don't feel guilty about it. But the rest of the time, you should think of what you need to get through the day the best. So what proteins, fats, carbohydrates, what are those that just fuel you to feel better, to do harder workouts, to get through your workday without cravings, to, do all of that. So I'm getting notifications, so they pop up, and I need to check this one because she might be wanting to come on and she doesn't know how. So sorry, just a second. Yes, they can't get on. Okay, I'm going to try to send him a link real quick, so sorry. I hope I'm not wasting your time. Does that one work? We are live now. Okay. Hopefully they see that. I forget where I was. So eat food for fuel. The other one is plan ahead. So I also think you should be eating things you enjoy. So I don't particularly love salads, but yes, I eat a salad. I try to eat one a day, but that doesn't happen. That's just realistic for me. Uh, so find foods you do like that are healthy. There's plenty out there to choose from. You don't have to only eat salads to feel healthy and fuel your body. So find the things you do like. Buy recipe books, clean eating recipe books, whole foods, like the Whole 30 cookbook is an awesome one. I have so many. I should have gotten out so I could show you. But just Google it, clean eating cookbooks. There's Well Fed, that is a paleo cookbook. I have focused more on paleo because I notice I really feel good when I eat like that, but you need to figure out what you like and what you feel good with. So it might take a process of elimination and years to figure it out, but keep trying. The other one is fit people eat simple. So someone else, I forget who it was. I think it might be Nicole Wilkins, or there's a bunch of people. Fit people eat simple, and that's what they always say, is you don't have big extravagant meals. You have a protein, which like chicken, ground turkey. You can even have beef. Try to keep it as lean as possible, but some fat is good for you. Any kind of protein, and then a carbohydrate, a healthy carbohydrate like a sweet potato, brown rice, even white rice is fine in small portions. Even red potatoes are fine in small portions. Just don't overload your plate and load it with a ton of butter and all kinds of sour cream and those kinds of things. Healthy fat, avocado, coconut oil, olive oil. Just watch your portions. We all need those fats. And a healthy carb, I wanted to say this, is any green vegetable, or like lettuce is a healthy carb, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, any kind of vegetable besides corn and peas. Corn and peas are starchy vegetables, so I don't really count them as a vegetable. They are more like a potato or like a rich carbohydrate. So you just need to be careful with those ones. You pretty much can eat as much as you can eat of leafy greens, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. Be careful what you put on top of them, like the oil. That can add up in calories, and we need the fat, though, to absorb into our system. It helps your body bring in the nutrients, so you need fats. Seeds, nuts, those are healthy fats. So I just get my inspiration because I know what I feel like when I eat healthy. So that I struggle with, I'm going to be totally honest, that I always am craving crap a lot of times. But you just have to decide what's more important to you. And that was one of my things I wanted to talk about was priorities. And you can easily come up with with excuses. I can too. So just decide what your priority is. Is it health and fitness? Uh, is it your job that you need to really focus on right now? Your kids, your marriage, your hobbies, your fun? What is it that I'd pick three that you can like deal with every day? So my whole life was kids. When I first started this, all I was my marriage and kids. What am I going to cook for dinner? And does I have everything I need? Are the kids happy and perfect? And the dress just perfect. And I got my son's lunch packed perfectly. And it was all I ever thought about was kids. Well, I can't say that's real healthy either. You need to have a balance in your life of all things. So when I started doing this, sometimes now I have too much time in fitness. So now I try to balance it. It's a never-ending battle of balance. So that's just like nutrition and meal planning and all of it. I like to take my rest day that I'm not working out and focus on what I'm going to eat for the week. So like these meal plans that I've put in our group, you do not have to eat every meal. You do not have to do exactly what it says to see results. You need to do what works for you, and it might take some time to figure it out. If you don't want that dinner that night, just do the other dinner, and then tomorrow do that dinner. You're not going to see, the whole point is to stay consistent. So whatever you can do to stay consistent is the best. Okay, being full or stuffed. So someone was talking about it, and I can totally relate to this one. You're having a healthy meal, and you get to the end and you still feel hungry or not satisfied. One trick is add a healthy fat. If you didn't have enough fat, add it to it. It's high calorie, but it like coats your stomach and makes you feel more satiated. And we need the fat for fuel. So fat is not a horrible thing. Sugar is a horrible thing. So you don't want to eat a ton of fat, but you do need fat in your diet. So the feeling of full or stuffed. A lot of times we don't really feel that full, so we keep eating, and then all of a sudden we're stuffed. It's because it takes a little bit of time for our stomachs to actually register that you're full to your brain, and it really takes like 5-10 minutes. So maybe when you've had a plate of food, stop, drink some water, and just really think about it. Set your fork down. Just evaluate it. Am I really hungry? Because if you had a long day, or like I think Kat asked this, so she's breastfeeding, she might really need a little bit more food, and that's okay. Because you don't want to feel like you're starving. That's not the point of this. You want to feel nourished and like you have energy. And the first week is the hardest. So if you've made it through that first week without cheating, then you can start to really listen to your body. If you've cheated, it's sugar probably talking. So try not to cheat so much so that you're confused, because our bodies get confused by sugar. That's why this week's challenge is to track your sugar. So I have a few more things. Does anyone have any questions, though? Is there still people on? A thumbs up? Is there still people? I think there is. Yeah. Okay, so someone asked, is a shake considered a meal? Well, it depends on the shake. That's my first thing. And not every shake is considered a meal. A protein shake is a protein shake and is not a full, well-rounded meal. You need proteins, fats, carbohydrates. A lot of them have carbohydrates and protein, or protein and fat, and so you just need to look at the package. You also need to look at the extra ingredients and see what is in there. So it may have protein and carbs and fats, but what are the sources? Are they synthetic? Okay, wait, I can't read it. Let me ask the question. It says, pre-workout, yes, no, should I get off of it? Okay, I'll answer that in a second. Is your shake considered a meal? So not all of them. Check the back, read the extra nutrients. So, like Shakeology, and I can get you a good deal if you're into it, but no pressure. It is full of superfoods and nutrients, not synthetic things, not, it's whole foods. What happened was this guy that was a kind of a whole foods clean eating freak, traveled the world, all over, and came back with all these nutrients, like things that we don't get here. Goji berries and maca root and camu camu, or I don't even know how to say it, camu camu. And like there's 70 of these things, and they're all dense whole foods with proteins, fats, carbohydrates. They're superfoods. So like I see a berry, you know how you hear about these and they put them in a pill, and that's synthetic. So they're not the greatest thing for you unless they're in whole foods form. So like grounding up an apple and eating it like in a blender would be okay, but turning it into a pill, into like a chemical, and then ingesting it just isn't right. So a lot of the companies do that. So what Shakeology did was take all these foods, ground them up, and put them in a protein shake. So it is, in my opinion, and what I've read, and what I've done it for 4 years, the best nutrient dense shake out there. I know Isogenics is really close, and I know that might be the only one. Isogenics is a good shake too. I'm not gonna put it down. It's a good one. So I still think I would choose Shakeology, but that's just because I have for 4 years. So Shakeology alone is 150 to 170 calories, depending on the flavor. And then if you add anything to it, like sometimes I add a little peanut butter or a banana or almond milk or spinach, or it has enough nutrient in it to be considered a meal, but sometimes it may not fill you up unless you add enough to it. It does me, like this morning I had that just plain, and I was fine. So you just need to play with it. It can be considered a meal if it has enough nutrients in it. Okay, so Brittany, pre-workout or should you not? This one's a difficult one. So if your workout is hard and you need to be honest with yourself, then yes. So if you're going to take that pre-workout, you know you're going to push yourself for at least an hour that day. Or let's say 45 minutes. A good 45-minute to an hour or longer workout, and you're going to give it all you got, then yes. So like if you're going to do the stair stepper for 20 minutes or more, take pre-workout plus do some weights and all that. So what pre-workout does is, I can't say they're all great things. You also need to read the labels. A lot of them are filled with synthetic crap, and most of them have caffeine, which I'm not totally against caffeine. I think caffeine's fine in small doses, and if you don't overdo it. A lot of them also have B12 vitamins, which is good, or some kind of B vitamin. Mine is a B vitamin based one, so I don't feel so guilty taking it. They do have sugars and some stuff in them, so you need to watch it and be careful, or you're just causing yourself to crave more junk. So only on the days you're really going to push it, and every 6 weeks you need to go off of it for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, and let your body and your adrenals go back to knowing how to fuel itself without pre-workout. So otherwise you'll get so used to it that you won't feel the benefit. So, and same with people that take fat burners. I don't take them, but that's the same thing. They're really hard on your system, and you should come off them when you can. Like every 4 weeks, you should not be taking them. Okay, so I think I went through it all. You guys are great in the group. I'm enjoying this group. That was kind of long. I wonder how long it was. I don't have a timer. About a half hour. Got any more questions for me? I'm going to be working all morning. So here at home, and I have no kids, and I just got a lot of stuff to catch up on. But let me know if you got any more questions. If not, I'll let you go. And I'm going to try to do this every Monday until this group's over. So please think of questions, and we'll talk about it. Have a great day. Bye.